The cracks in Kody and Robyn Brown's once tightly guarded marriage have burst wide open in a moment that left Sister Wives fans stunned. After years of defending her husband and enduring backlash from viewers who accused her of being the favorite wife, Robyn finally snapped in explosive fashion, lashing out at Kody and branding him a pig after his latest shocking confession. The fiery exchange has not only rattled their relationship, but also reignited debates among fans who now wonder if even Robyn, the wife who stood by him when everyone else walked away, has finally reached her breaking point. For years, Robyn Brown has stood as the pillar of loyalty within the Sister Wives family, often portrayed as the one wife who never wavered in her devotion to Kody Brown, while the rest of his plural marriage unraveled around him. Through Mary's heartbreak, Janelle's frustrations, and Christine's ultimate decision to walk away, Robyn positioned herself as Kody's last ally, the woman who defended his choices, even as fans blamed him for the collapse of the entire family unit. Yet, in a shocking twist that nobody saw coming, the most steadfast partner in Kody's life has unleashed her fury, calling him a pig after a jaw-dropping confession that left her seething. The brutal exchange has sent shockwaves through the Brown family and the fandom alike, shattering the carefully crafted image of unity that Kody and Robyn once tried to project. The chaos erupted during a tense confrontation that was captured for cameras, adding yet another unforgettable chapter to the turbulent saga of the Browns. The confession itself, delivered in Kody's typical blunt and unapologetic style, cut deep into the fragile balance of their relationship. For Robyn, who has often been accused by fans of manipulating situations behind the scenes to secure her favored position, this was the moment she seemed to lose her composure entirely. Her voice, usually measured and tearful when she defends her husband, rose with sharpness and anger as she lashed out. The word pig rang out like a thunderclap, and in that instant, years of pent-up tension between the so-called golden couple of the Brown household came roaring to the surface. For longtime viewers, the eruption between Kody and Robyn represents more than just a marital spat. It symbolizes a turning point in the narrative that has defined Sister Wives for over a decade. The show began as a celebration of plural marriage, an attempt to portray a large, unconventional family navigating love, faith, and unity. But as time passed, the story shifted into one of collapse, resentment, and betrayal. Christine's departure was a watershed moment, followed by Janelle's decision to detach herself and Mary's acknowledgement of a marriage that no longer existed in any meaningful way. Through it all, Robyn remained the lone defender of the man at the center of the storm. Now, with her calling Kody a pig, even that last thread of loyalty appears frayed, if not broken. What exactly triggered such an explosive insult remains a subject of fervent speculation. Sources close to production hint that Kody's confession touched on the sensitive issues that have long defined his dynamic with Robyn, issues of intimacy, favoritism, and control. For years, fans accused Kody of prioritizing Robyn above all others, devoting more time, attention, and emotional energy to her while neglecting his other wives and children. This favoritism, once seen as an advantage for Robyn, has morphed into a double-edged sword. As the other women left, the weight of Kody's expectations fell squarely on Robyn, leaving her isolated and burdened with the full brunt of his frustrations. His confession, which reportedly laid bare truths about his feelings for his wives, may have been the breaking point that pushed her from defender to accuser. The word pig itself carries heavy symbolic weight in this context. It is not merely an insult. It is an indictment of Kody's behavior, a way of stripping him of the authority he has long wielded over the family. For Robyn to call him that publicly signals a seismic shift in their relationship dynamics. Fans who once believed Robyn would endure anything to preserve her marriage now see her as a woman finally cracking under pressure, forced to confront the same harsh truths that Christine, Janelle, and Mary faced before her. In that single moment of rage, Robyn aligned herself with the chorus of critics who have long condemned Kody's actions, even if she did so in a way fueled by personal betrayal. Social media lit up as soon as whispers of the confrontation spread. Viewers who had once derided Robyn as manipulative or complicit in Kody's downfall suddenly expressed sympathy for her. Others saw her outburst as too little too late, arguing that she only turned on Kody when his behavior began to affect her directly. Memes, tweets, and TikTok commentary flooded the internet, with the phrase "Robyn calls Kody a pig" trending among fans who could not believe the couple's once unshakable alliance had cracked so visibly. Some fans speculated that Robyn's anger stemmed from feeling trapped in the very situation she helped create, while others suggested this was her way of reclaiming her voice after years of quietly supporting her husband at all costs. Within the Brown household, the fallout from the confrontation has reportedly been severe. Insiders describe tense arguments, cold silences, and a deepening rift between Kody and Robyn. For a man who has built his identity around being the patriarch of a large plural family, the sting of being called a pig by the wife who stood by him the longest is said to have cut him to the core. Kody, never one to admit fault easily, is rumored to have doubled down in response, defending his confession and accusing Robyn of disrespect. What began as one fiery exchange appears to have spiraled into an ongoing battle that could define the next phase of their relationship and of the show itself. From a broader perspective, the showdown between Kody and Robyn raises important questions about the very future of sister wives. With Christine thriving in her new marriage, Janelle carving out her independence, and Mary pursuing her own path away from Kody, the show's central drama has largely revolved around whether Robyn and Kody could maintain their bond. Now, with cracks appearing even in that partnership, fans wonder if the series is documenting the final unraveling of the family story. If Robyn, the most loyal of all, is beginning to rebel against Kody's domineering ways, then perhaps the era of the Browns as reality TV's most famous plural family is nearing its end. The cultural significance of Robyn's outburst cannot be overstated. For over a decade, she has been framed as the favorite wife, the woman who benefited from Kody's love while her sister wives were left emotionally neglected. By calling him a pig, she not only distances herself from that narrative, but also dismantles it. She exposes the reality that being the favorite came with its own costs: constant scrutiny, overwhelming pressure, and the near impossible task of defending a man whose choices alienated almost everyone around him. In that sense, her insult is both personal and political, a rejection of the role she has played in perpetuating the illusion of harmony. The public reaction has also reignited discussions about gender dynamics within the Brown family. Kody has long positioned himself as the decision-maker, the man whose authority shaped the household. His wives, meanwhile, were expected to comply, negotiate, or quietly resist. Christine chose rebellion by leaving, Janelle chose independence by asserting her autonomy, and Mary chose quiet dignity by walking away emotionally before doing so physically. Robyn, by contrast, seemed to embrace compliance, but her sudden outburst suggests that even the most compliant partner has limits. By calling Kody a pig, she flipped the power dynamic, momentarily seizing control of the narrative and exposing him in a way that none of the other wives ever quite did. As the dust settles, the big question is whether this marks the beginning of the end for Kody and Robyn's marriage. Will they reconcile, with Robyn once again stepping into the role of defender and caretaker? Or has the damage gone too far, leaving their relationship permanently fractured? The stakes are high, not only for them personally, but also for the future of the Sister Wives franchise. TLC has thrived on the drama of the Browns unraveling, but even reality television needs relationships to sustain its storytelling. If Kody loses Robyn, he will have lost everything: the wives, the family unity, and even the narrative that kept fans tuning in season after season. For now, fans are left to wait and watch, eagerly anticipating how this brutal showdown will play out on screen. The moment Robyn called Kody a pig will undoubtedly become one of the most replayed and dissected scenes in the history of Sister Wives. It is a turning point that strips away the illusions of loyalty and forces both the Browns and their audience to confront uncomfortable truths. After years of turmoil, betrayal, and heartbreak, the chaos within the family has reached a new crescendo. And for Robyn, the wife who was once seen as untouchable, the choice to finally turn on Kody may prove to be the most defining act of her time in the public eye. In the end, whether Robyn and Kody recover from this or not, the damage has been done. The words cannot be unsaid. The insult cannot be erased. What remains is a marriage in turmoil, a family in disarray, and a fan base more captivated than ever by the unfolding drama. And so the question lingers in the air, heavy with anticipation. If even Robyn Brown has lost faith in Kody, is this truly the end of the Sister Wives saga as we know it?
The Sister Wives world has been turned upside down by a confrontation that no one expected. A brutal moment where Robyn Brown, long considered the most loyal and soft-spoken of Kody Brown's wives, unleashed a fury that left her husband stunned and speechless. After years of defending him, standing beside him, and enduring endless accusations from fans that she was the favored wife who had quietly benefited from Kody's neglect of the others, Robyn finally snapped. In a heated exchange that has quickly become one of the most talked about scenes in the history of the TLC series, Robyn branded Kody a pig, a word that cut deeper than any insult ever hurled at him by the other women. The eruption shocked viewers because Robyn has often been the one to cry, to plead, and to try to hold the family together. She entered the plural marriage years after it was established, joining as the fourth wife and initially presenting herself as someone who wanted harmony and unity. Over time, however, the family fractured, with Christine walking away, Janelle refusing to bend to Kody's control, and Mary finally admitting that her marriage had ended in everything but paperwork. Through all of that, Robyn clung to Kody, defending him from accusations and shielding him from the harshest judgments of the fanbase. That image shattered in a single moment when she turned on him with raw, unfiltered rage. The exchange began after one of Kody's typical confessions, delivered with the same blunt arrogance that has so often left viewers groaning. He has never been one to sugarcoat his feelings, and that night he admitted truths that Robyn did not want to hear. What he said has not been fully revealed in public, but insiders suggest it revolved around his resentments toward his wives, his bitterness at being abandoned, and his unapologetic acknowledgement of the favoritism he has shown Robyn. Instead of gratitude, instead of relief that she was his chosen one, Robyn felt the confession expose her to a weight she had been carrying for years. The favoritism that once made her special had also left her isolated, bearing the full force of his attention, his anger, and his expectations. When she exploded, her voice trembled with years of pent-up frustration. "You're a pig," she snapped, the word escaping her lips before she could stop it. It was not a rehearsed insult, not a carefully chosen jab designed for television. It was instinctive, raw, and born of pain. For a moment, Kody, the man who always has an answer, a retort, or a justification ready at hand, was silent. He stared at her, his face caught somewhere between shock and fury, unable to process that the one woman who had always stood by him had now humiliated him with the harshest of labels. For the fan base, this moment represented something monumental. Robyn has often been vilified, blamed for the collapse of the family, accused of being manipulative and complicit in Kody's mistreatment of the other wives. But to see her break, to see her hurl an insult that mirrored the anger of Christine, the defiance of Janelle, and the quiet pain of Mary, was to witness the last fortress crumble. If even Robyn had turned on Kody, what remained of his kingdom? Social media erupted with reactions, some cheering her for finally standing up to him, others dismissing her rage as too little, too late. But no one could deny the power of that single word, pig. It stripped Kody of his self-constructed image of patriarchal authority and exposed him as a flawed man whose last loyal wife could no longer hold back her disgust. The insult also carried layers of symbolism that fans quickly dissected. To call someone a pig is to accuse them of selfishness, greed, arrogance, and indulgence. It implies a lack of respect for others, a wallowing in one's own desires without consideration for the people around them. In many ways, the word encapsulated everything that Kody's ex-wives and children have accused him of over the years. It was as though Robyn, in one furious burst, echoed the collective voice of the family, channeling all their resentment and pain into a single syllable. For Kody, the sting must have been unbearable because it came from the woman he thought would never betray him. In the days following the confrontation, sources close to the Browns reported that tensions in the household reached a breaking point. Kody, described as deeply wounded and angry, allegedly lashed out privately about being disrespected. But the power of Robyn's words could not be undone. Once spoken, they hung in the air, reshaping the dynamics between them. For years, he relied on her loyalty as his last defense against accusations that he had lost everything. With Christine, Janelle, and Mary gone, Robyn was his rock, the wife who legitimized his belief that he had at least done something right. Now that foundation appeared to be cracking. What makes this showdown so riveting for fans is the way it reflects the larger story arc of Sister Wives. The series began as an exploration of plural marriage, framed as a journey of love and unity. But over time, it evolved into a saga of disintegration, with each wife peeling away to reclaim her independence. Christine found happiness in remarriage, Janelle carved her own path, and Mary stepped away to redefine herself. Kody and Robyn were left behind, the last remnants of a dream that had turned into a nightmare. For Robyn to erupt in anger and call her husband a pig is to signal that even the final thread holding the plural marriage experiment together is fraying. The public reaction has been nothing short of explosive. Memes and GIFs circulated within minutes of the scene airing, with Robyn's insult replayed endlessly online. Fans who once despised her found themselves feeling an unexpected surge of empathy. Others saw the moment as poetic justice, arguing that she was finally experiencing the consequences of siding with Kody for so long. On Reddit forums and Facebook groups devoted to sister wives, debates raged about whether Robyn's fury was genuine or performative. Some argued that she was tired of being painted as the villain and lashed out at Kody as a way to distance herself from his unpopularity. Others insisted that her anger was authentic, pointing to her body language and the way her voice cracked with raw emotion. The cast also raises serious questions about the future of Robyn and Kody's marriage. Can they recover from such a public rupture, or has the bond finally been broken beyond repair? Those close to the family suggest that the fallout continues behind closed doors, with long silences, tense arguments, and a widening emotional gap between them. For Kody, whose pride has always been one of his defining traits, being insulted so brutally by Robyn is a humiliation he may never forgive. For Robyn, the act of calling him a pig may have opened a floodgate of honesty that she can no longer close. What makes this even more significant is that it is not merely a marital dispute. It is the culmination of years of dysfunction, favoritism, and imbalance that have defined the Brown family since the cameras first rolled. The image of Robyn's fury is the image of a dream shattered, a family broken, and a husband left without words in the face of his wife's long-suppressed truth. It is a moment that captures the essence of why millions have tuned in year after year, to watch not just a family experiment with plural marriage, but to witness the raw humanity of people trying and failing to hold their lives together under extraordinary pressure. As for the future,